Aspinall, Aspinall, Tommy Aspinall, la 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 la. Aspinall, 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 Tommy Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes, the co-main event for UFC 304, I believe it is, Manchester, England. My prediction in this video. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Tom Aspinall finally gets his revenge rematch at UFC 304 in Manchester against Curtis Blaydes, because Curtis Blaydes, less than 2 years ago actually, in London, defeated Aspinall because Aspinall blew out his knee in 30 seconds in, something like that. So there was never really a fight, but on paper, Anthony Smith shout out, on paper, Curtis Blaydes won the fight by TKO against Tom Aspinall, right? So obviously Tom Aspinall wants to clear that L off his record. So now he finally gets a chance. He's the interim champion, so he defends his interim title, which is something very special that we don't see often. So it's a very special moment in MMA history in a way, against Curtis Blaydes. And Curtis Blaydes, what plays in Curtis Blaydes' favor, I have to say, is he already felt that UK crowd, because it's always a factor when you travel abroad, especially for Americans who are used to fighting in their own country, and then you go somewhere else and into another continent with a completely different crowd, and the crowd is completely in favor of your opponent, which never really happens in your own country unless you're Henry Cejudo and everyone hates you.
My name is Triple C!
Some people cannot handle that. Some people cannot handle to be booed and all the pressure and the whole fight week in there and whatever the time difference and whatnot, you know what I mean? But Curtis Blaydes, even though he only won 30 seconds in due to a knee blowing out, I am pretty sure that gives you a mental edge. You already been there, you already have done that fight week stuff, you already experienced the crowd, you already experienced the boos, you already went out there and fought on enemy soil, and you won. Because psychologically, all that matters is you won. You got the post-fight interview, you got the win bonus, you got all the things that feature that come with a win. So mentally you won on enemy soil, now you're going back to enemy soil and trying to get a win again. In my opinion, that's a big kind of, a big point in this fight that we have to consider. And Tommy Aspinall now, you could also say psychologically, last time you stepped in the cage against that guy, last time Bruce introduced you and you locked eyes with him, you got injured and you lost that fight.
You suck. Boom, roasted.
And I'm sure Tom Aspinall has a psyche that is strong enough to not care about that and know that it was a doctor that had to stop it, or no, not doctor stoppage, but you know what I mean, a medical injury, whatever. And that he didn't got defeated by the hands of anyone.
You have it two hands.
But anyways, it could be a factor, we have to mention that. And now, as you know, I like to look at the past 2 years of both guys in terms of who they fought and whatnot. In the last 2 years, Tom Aspinall fought against Curtis Blaydes. Yeah, he lost step one. We talked already about all the ins and outs of that. And then he had 2 more fights after the injury against Tybura and against Sergey Pavlovich. He won both those fights, finished both of those fights in round number 1. I think both fights combined lasted like 1.5 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Curtis Blaydes, on the other hand, also fought 2 other times. Lost one though to someone that I just mentioned, Sergey Pavlovich, so a guy that Tom Aspinall knocked out in less than a minute. Blaydes got knocked out, I think also in round 1 or something, by that very guy. And he has 1 win since then, which is against Almeida, Shailton Almeida, where he was losing the fight, got taken down 700,000 times, had no answer for that, and then somehow, whilst Almeida was on a single leg attempt, he just Johnny Walker style hammer fisted him until Shailton Almeida could take it no more.
Stop the fight!
Doctor, what is wrong with my doctor stoppage today? TKO referee stoppage, obviously.
Doctor stoppage!
So that's the only real win he has since the Tom Aspinall fight. And of course there was a satisfying win, but it was not like, oh my god, Curtis Blaydes looked in perfect shape, he was dominating. No. Aspinall on the other side had 2 fights and made them look like they don't belong there. Tom Aspinall, and I said this since a long time, go back to my earliest YouTube videos, Tom Aspinall is the most complete, perfect heavyweight fighter of all time. In my opinion, if nothing freak crazy happens, he gets knocked out of nowhere and his chin is gone forever, this Reyes style, Tom Aspinall will go down, in my opinion, as the greatest heavyweight of all time. And it's pretty rare that I say something like that early in their career. Tom Aspinall is 31, I believe, or something like that, which is very young in your heavyweight career. Tom Aspinall is a complete package. He trains, even though he's from England, so you might think, he's only a striker. No, he trains jiu-jitsu since he's like 3 years old. I'm not joking here. His dad has his own gym. He grew up training jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is probably his base, you could say. He has very good wrestling, and I really don't see anyone anytime soon taking his belt. The only guy I could see beating him is John Jones, and I would even favor Aspinall in the John Jones fight. But that's the only guy where I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a tough one. But it's heavyweight, everything can happen, one shot can end it all. Curtis Blaydes has good striking, we cannot miss that. Curtis Blaydes is not a bad striker. Look at the Derrick Lewis fight, he was outstriking Derrick Lewis until that nasty uppercut came. But whenever he fights, heavy hitters, he loses. Normally when he fights heavy hitters with one-punch knockout power, he loses the fight and ends up getting knocked out.
Yes, I knocked him out.
You knock him out?
Yeah.
You can make an argument every heavyweight has one-punch knockout power, but you know what I mean. And Tom Aspinall, if you like it or not, is a crazy KO artist. Just look at his last 2 fights, less than 1.5 minutes, both fights combined, finished them. You know what I mean? Tom Aspinall has heavy hands, and he's fast, accurate, has great takedown defense, great takedown offense. I would not be surprised if Tom Aspinall even takes on Curtis Blaydes. And on the ground, I do not see Curtis Blaydes doing anything to Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is just too good. If Blaydes gets him down, which is a possibility, I don't see Blaydes doing anything to Aspinall. Aspinall could even submit him from his back. Aspinall could just stand up and everything. Like, I just don't see a threat on the ground for Aspinall. The only threat for Aspinall I see is a threat that will be there in every heavyweight fight, that Blaydes catches him with a big strike and knocks him out. That's always a possibility. But for me, as much respect as I have for Curtis Blaydes, this is a pretty clear pick for me. Tommy Aspinall will win that fight, and Tom Aspinall is not a guy who takes people to decisions, especially not in 5-round fights, especially not when his title is on the line. I do believe Tom Aspinall will come out guns blazing, and you know what, I'll risk it. Round 1, I think later in round 1, like 3-4 minutes in, he will hurt Blaydes, he will have him on skates or even knock him down and finish him with ground and pound, probably even put him unconscious when he ground and pounds him, and win first round KO/TKO. Tommy Aspinall, and still undisputed interim heavyweight champion of the world, Tommy, he has no nickname, Aspinall. Your opinion, write it in the comments. Who do you pick? What do you base your pick on? What is your exact prediction? Write it all in the comments, you guys. I would appreciate that. Check out the Bloodsport merch, guys. Bloodshop.net, I would appreciate that as well. We're about free shipping. Check out the products. Support the merch. Like this video. Subscribe to this channel, guys. I would appreciate that. That is that. Comment down below. Most importantly, guys, stay bloody. And until the next one, bye-bye. Bloodsport out.